All right, good morning, everybody. I even started on time. Haha, let's go, baby. All right, so I am Darkpool Algo, and thanks for joining me on another Morning Watches building session. Today is Friday 4th, 2022, and tomorrow is Cinco de Drinko. For those of you that like to drink tequila. I'm just kidding. Big things are happening tomorrow. I have it's pretty big day for me. I'm moving tomorrow, moving this weekend, beginning a new chapter and some things. So kind of excited about that, kind of nervous, kind of scared. But today is Friday, and I've been saying don't lose your butt on a Friday for weeks now. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to trade some equities. And which reminds me, I wanted to look at Tilray because there was some news about them yesterday. What am I on? What time frame is this? Daily? No, 5 minutes. Oh yeah, more murder, death, kill. So Tilray came out with some news that they're going to end up buying. Good morning, Johnny. Morning. They're going to end up buying Hexo's debt. So that means they would have absorbed. Did they absorb Aurora? I think they did. So the 4 or 5 main cannabis companies were Tilray, Hexo, ACB, which is Aurora, and there was another one that I can't remember the name of. CGA, CAG, something like that. But Tilray's gone in and bought all of these smaller cannabis companies up, yet their stock is still garbage. So let me know. Do you all know the other one? It's like CGA. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. Anyway, we'll get into that later. Overnight, scary. Well, not scary. We knew this was going to happen. Overnight, we've had, overnight futures kind of have done what we've said they were going to do for the last couple of weeks. Like we've been pretty spot on with our levels and our numbers and the direction and what's happening. And, that was a big old nasty drop yesterday or on the 3rd, right? Slowly been climbing back up. We'll get into the futures in a minute. So first off, we have a few earnings to get through, and then we will get in it. I was scanning through my stuff, and I saw that Affirm, there's some news out about Affirm. Affirm is one of my favorite companies to trade. Why? Because it is juicy. Yes, it is juicy, and it looks like it's in a death spiral, just like the rest of the market. All right, let's get into it. Marvell had earnings yesterday, and we talked about how Marvell is a fun one to play. EPS at 50 cents versus 48. Revenues 1.34 billion versus 132. Guides Q1 EPS at 48 to 54 cents versus 44 cents. These are good earnings so far, right? These are really good earnings so far. Yeah, so I mean, they had pretty decent earnings, got a nice little pop off of that, and the market kicked in and brought it all down. What I do not like, and this is a little concerning to me, is of this big old H-shaped pattern here, followed by smaller H-shaped patterns. That means that these smaller ones are going to start firing off like a firecracker and just feed this bigger one. So does Marvell rip off of here? I don't think so. Bounced off of 200, failed the 200, failed to maintain the 200, failed the 200. They keep bouncing off of the weekly, daily, 4-hour bottom. So there's a cluster, there's a range from 60 to about 64 that is providing massive support, but they're below that 200. Off of decent earnings, so lots of implied volatility in here. I think we might actually see Marvell make the next leg down. Thank you. All right. I'm having some issues with my charts lately, right? Big old daily bottom, daily mid. This is a perfect example of how the Keltner channels interact with price action, or price interacts with the Kelts. So the cycle, daily top to daily bottom. Oh, sorry, daily top, daily mid, daily bottom, daily mid, daily bottom, daily mid, daily top, daily bottom, right? Ping pong ball, remember that. So off of the daily, weekly bottom, daily mid, couldn't get through it, came back down, tried to use the 4-hour support, moved up through the 4-hour mid, couldn't quite continue on, gave up the ghost of the 200, and now they're chilling back down at the 4-hour daily bottom. So up and down, look for a daily bottom target of 61. To the downside, weekly bottom support coming in at 59.55. Below that, we've got the monthly mid magnet at 56. Contrarian, if for some reason they can get back up above this 4-hour mid and maintain that level, that would be above the 4-hour 200, and then they can look at going 67, 69.50, 70 to 72. Okay, falling 200, rising, or falling 50, rising 200. This is overhead pressure. Okay, Marvell, it's a fun one to trade. They're a technology company, so do with it what you will. Disney came out and is discussing the prospect of a more inexpensive ad-supported version of its Disney Plus video streaming service. Of course, I mean that just makes sense. They're not making any money off of it. They're not getting any ad revenue. They can't just. I mean they're just floating money out to pay for all of these series to be produced, right? And they're only gaining the money off of the like $7, $8 a month. It's just not going to be enough. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do a $5 ad-based streaming service that does not give you instant access to all of the new releases and maybe a day delayed, kind of like Hulu does, right? And then it will be ad driven, right? Then they'll make money off of those ads. Disney does not like that news. Ooh, lots of pressure. Again, this 50-day, super important. Tried to rally up through it, rejected it. So 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, 4-hour top, 4-hour mid, 4-hour bottom. They made a higher low, held the 4-hour bottom. I would look for a move on Disney. To the downside, we're looking at through the 4-hour bottom, back test it for support. So a flush down to about 40.41, back test 42, larger move down. 138.78 is the line in the sand. Below that, it's a quick flush to 134. Right, weekly bottom failure, monthly bottom magnet 130. Contrarian, if for some reason they're able to hold up against all of this weight on this H-shaped pattern, they could go 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, so 143, 147, possibly 148, but they've got that 50-day that they're going to smack into at 149. The cycle would be daily bottom, daily mid, right? So 140, 148, 156, right? But they have to do the 4-hour first. The way that the Celts work is the bigger the time frame, the more support resistance, the more rare it is for price to actually get there. And so we like to use a 15-minute for intraday stuff, like quick scalps, 15 bottom, 15 top, or 15 bottom, 15 mid, 15 top. That's your scalp. Swinging, you could do 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, 4-hour mid, 4-hour top, because price will go from the bottom to the mid and either use the mid as support and move up to the top, or reject the mid and come back and use double tap the bottom and then get up and through it. Okay, that's Celts in a nutshell. All right, moving on. Next up on our list is AVGO, Broadcom. We love this stock. It's a good one. First quarter EPS of $8.39 per share versus $8.08. Q1 revenue 7.7 billion versus 7.6. Sees Q2 revenue at 7.9 versus 7.93. Adjusted EBITDA of 62% of projected revenue. Right, record Q1 results were driven by strong enterprise demand and investments in next generation technology by hyperscale and service providers. That's a big move. A $500 stock in this market to go from $580 to $620 jump. Right, I don't know what percent that is. 2.5% move, right? Pretty good for mega cap. So for our bottom, for our mid, for our top, 50-day resistance, monthly top. For a stock to get out of the monthly top, it takes a lot of momentum and a lot of energy. So I'm going to be looking for some pullbacks today. This could gap and go. I don't know if they're going to rotate into this or not. With the fact that it's just below the 50-day and it couldn't clear the 4-hour top. You can add an alert at 6:03:42 to grab the 4-hour top, daily top move, But there may be a move back down to 593 for support and possibly 585. I bet you if I ran a fib from there, 50% retracement. There's 618 retracement from this high to this low. Right, rallied up, 618 retracement, double tap that. If that breaks, 590 is support. Right, below 590, it's a 4-hour weekly daily mid at this 584, 585 level. Right, because you see there's a weekly mid, there's the daily mid, there's the 4-hour mid. Right, that's your support level. Probably in line with the trend line if you were to draw one. A little inverted head and shoulders. I like AVGO. Maybe into next week. Today is Friday. I am going to trade some options today. I've got an Amazon put fly that I put in yesterday at the close that I'm looking to hold. Amazon typically likes to sell off on Fridays. I've got the 2900, 2850 or 2885, 2910 I think is what it is. It's a real tight unbalanced fly. Roku hit the daily bottom. It's working its way back up. I got burnt on Roku. I can't believe it. I learned yesterday when I was streaming the open that I really just have to focus on one singular stock if I'm streaming. I can't jump around and look at a bunch of different ones or else I just burn myself. All right, Biogen. In healthcare news, we've got Biogen, BIIB. This was a fun one to trade. And its partner began submission of application data in Japan aimed at getting an early approval for their Alzheimer's disease therapy. Pretty decent move yesterday. See this bull flag, just they stuffed it right at the 5200. So 211, 211.50. That's your zone. Above that, woo, we get a quick move to 213, 214, 215, right? Above 215, it's clean air all the way up to 225. Up and down and up. Compression, high compression, squeeze release, firing off. I like BIIB today. If it can maintain the weekly top, if it can maintain 210-ish, 209.25. So below 209.25, we look at a move back down to the 4-hour daily bottom, right? But if it can stay out of this weekly cloud, there's a move to 215, BIIB. I'm going to write that one down someplace. Got to put it someplace. All right, moving on. All right, CBOE Global Markets trading volume for February 2022. Total volume across all its 4 options exchanges with 259 million contracts in February. Okay, Affirm. Let's go, baby. Affirm files mixed security shelf. I still don't understand what that means. I don't understand what that means. I think it's bullish though. We'll have to. A shelf offering in a securities exchange provision allows an equity issuer to register a new. Oh, hey now. Media.mofo. What is this? How do you own mofo.com? I love that domain. All right, so it looks like they filed to allocate new shares. All right, shelf registration statements permits multiple offerings based on the same registration. A shelf registration can be used for the sales of new securities by the issuer. So a firm's coming out and saying they're going to issue new shares. Kind of mixed on how that was going to affect things. We'll have to check into that later. And in energy, Chicago wheat futures rose by their daily limit Thursday to another 14-year high, powering past $11 per bushel for the first time since 2008. Okay, In supply and demand, if there's no supply, the demand grows. Therefore, price increases. Who own, like, Russia is the number one major wheat exporter, and we're having issues with them. So 30%, 32% gain on wheat futures. Whew, it's crazy. Yeah, all of that is going to be interesting. Let's see. In consumer news, we've got a few things we want to look at here. Costco, obviously for their earnings, but I also want to look at Sprouts. Sprouts Farmers announced a 600 million share repurchase authorization. Smith & Wesson, EPS at 69 cents versus 86. Q4 revenue at 177. You would think that SWBI would be down, but guess what? It's wartime and fear and panic set in. SWBI, oh snap, 1813. This is death. Smith & Wesson is dead in the water. They just got shot. They got capped. Monthly bottom at 1150. Look for Smith & Wesson to 1150. Oh wow. 875. Like, this is a real possibility. It moved down to here. Okay. Gap stores, which is always a fun. Oh snap! I forgot to tell you about this. So I was watching HBO Max last night. They have a 2-part docuseries on the GameStop squeeze. Yeah, that's right. Somebody actually did a documentary series on the GameStop squeeze, and their view on it, which is obviously biased. But yeah, it was there. I started watching it and I couldn't get through a lot of it. I felt like I was just watching Wall Street Bets in action. I don't know, live Wall Street Bets. Go check it out if you want to. Gap stores. This is pretty good for Gap. 14 to 17, chilling at 15. They did a daily top, daily bottom, daily mid, daily top. You see how it works? Daily bottom, daily mid, daily top. In between that, you have 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, 4-hour top. And inside of that, you have hourly bottom, hourly mid, hourly top. Inside that, you got 15-minute bottom, mid, top. Inside that, you got 5-minute bottom, mid, top. See how it works? It's kind of like a China doll or a Russian doll. Okay. Shake Shack. Oh, this is decent. The old Shack is offering Bitcoin as a reward for customers buying food at its chain using blocks, Square, Cash App. Purchaser will receive 15% of their order back in the form of Bitcoin on any Shake Shack purchase made with the Cash Card by purchasing items versus Cash Boost. That's news. Hey, that's some actual decent news. That's worthy of dropping it in these suckers. Right? So Square can move off of that. Oh, look, it did my move. Up and down and up. Up. Alright. 50 days, so powerful. It broke out of its overhead trend. Alright, so 4-hour bottom, daily mid, 108. Weekly or monthly, 105. If it breaks down below 108, right? If it breaks the 618 retracement from this rally, which I should make this rally now. All right. So 4-hour bottom holds, rising 200 intraday, smaller time frame. I would look for 50% retracement, so 106.76, possible wick down to 105, and then it makes a decision if it's going to reverse and continue higher, or if it's going to fail and move back down to the daily bottom. Let's look at Square today. Looks like it's trying to hold its 200 on the lower time frames. 110 support, long above 112.50 for move to 115. Above 115, we get 117, and then finally 120 or 119.50. This is a cluster of resistance, right? This is a wall of resistance. You got monthly bottom, right? So it's coming back up from underneath the Celts. Smacking into the weekly, monthly bottoms. Can't get through it. In the meantime, you got the 4-hour cycle running. 4-hour top, mid, bottom, right? If it's an upcycle, it should go for a bottom, for a mid, smack into the top. But the bigger cycle is daily top, daily mid, daily bottom for square. You see that? Okay, moving on. Funko, FNKO. Q4 EPS at 38 cents a share versus 28. Big ripper news off of there. Revenue growth mid 40% range and guides 4-year revenue growth at 20 to 25%. So they're saying, hey, we're a SPAC basically, or $15-$20 stock. We're going to see 20 to 25% growth this year. That immediately catapulted it back above the 200 on the 4-hour, out of the daily top to the weekly top. Pullback, retest 19. If 19 holds, go long to 22. Okay. Funko could be fun to watch today. Let me get the right group here to let these people know what's up with that. Okay. All right. All right, so we have non-farm payroll today at 8:30 and manufacturing payrolls at 8:30. Unemployment rate for February at 8:30. Average hourly earnings at 8:30, and at 1 p.m. Eastern, Baker Hughes weekly rig count data. So 8:30 Eastern market rocking, and then 1 p.m. Eastern market rocking. Okay. U.S. futures are lower by about 0.8% after reports Russian forces attacked Europe's largest nuclear power plant overnight in Ukraine, raising fears of nuclear disaster. But according to the latest reports, the fire at the nuclear plant is reportedly extinguished. So what has Russia done since it's gotten to Ukraine? It went and took over Chernobyl, and now it's going after the other one. So let's say that you're a dictator, right? And you want to cripple a country and potentially surrounding countries. You go after their power, because without power, people die, because we don't know how to depend upon fire anymore, right? So if they can control the nuclear power centers, they can kind of dictate their terms with the fear of, we're not launching nuclear missiles because that would break some major, that would destroy their country. But if there was some accidental, like some nuclear accidents, right? It's very sly what he's doing. It's you have to think of, yeah, just think about it from a different point of view. Anyway, that man, this needs to end. Okay. Havens, including sovereign bonds, jumped up on the reports, and the 10-year falling below 1.80%. Gold up 7% to $19.50 an ounce, and the dollar gaining. Oil soared, adding to an already soaring metal and grain costs as Russia's resources are shunned by the world amid sanctions. Yes, in Asian markets, Nikkei index dropped 2.2%. Jeez, that's a lot. Holy cow. Ooh, it's going to be a rough day for us. Shanghai fell about 1%. Hang Seng declined another 2.5%. Those are big drops. Big. DAX tumbled 3.5%, or nearly. Oh wow. Who do I have to show me markets? Let me see if I can find it here real quick. All right. This was yesterday, right? Consumer goods, residential, food, drug, metals. These are all good, right? This is where everybody was at yesterday, right? Walmart, right? Walmart is a war staple. Freeport McMoran up 1.93%. Johnny, there you go, buddy. But look at this. These are big drops. Big drops. How do I get this bigger? Oh, double click. Ha. Right. We were down 1.5%. They were down 3.4%. Yeah, this is not so great. Seriously, not so great. right? This is the index, right? You got the S&P, the Dow, right? I mean, this is Webull data, which is pretty decent. It's easy to see, right? It's not as granular as like some toss data, but these, I mean, we're trying to make a move, right? Got some resistance over here. I mean, we're coming up to previous resistance. This is S&P 500, followed by the Dow, and then the NASDAQ, right? Net inflows of capital, obviously down. Advanced decliners, right? Obviously, more sells than puts, okay? Or sells than buying, all right. Thought y'all would find that interesting. All right. And those are big drops, okay? And Wall Street struggled for direction for much of Thursday's session as the Ukraine crisis kept investors on the edge until sliding late afternoon as all averages ended lower. The U.S. On Thursday imposed fresh sanctions against Russian oligarchs, including those active in the oil and real estate sector. Between all the headlines on Ukraine this week, the two-day Powell testimony, volatile stocks, bonds, and currencies. Not much mention about today's non-farm payroll report at 8:30. Estimates are non-farm payrolls up 400,000 jobs, private 378, manufacturing 23, and the unemployment rate to dip to 3.9, and average hourly earnings rose 0.5%. So, we've got global fear and pressure pushing the market down, but we got some decent, like, hey, we're not, as an economy, we're doing okay. So what's going to win? It's like sentiment or numbers. It's Friday, I would say. We may see some pops. Well, let's check out our futures, shall we? Let's see where we're at with things. Let's see where we're at with things. Okay. All right, let's crack this out on the daily. So this is the chart we've been studying for the last several weeks. We've had some ideas all surrounding this purple line, which is the March 16th FOMC date, right? We did rally up. We broke above the 50%. We touched that 21-day, and what happened? We immediately rejected. We fell back down. We held at 382, and that 382 is the move from this high to this low. Rallied up to the 618, right? The 618, which is the 21-day. As soon as we hit it, we immediately rejected it. So now we're starting to come down. I don't know if I can call that a valid play or not. I think if that's the case, then that would indicate more of a rapid decline. Up and back. If we can close on highs today, it's just going to be really rough. Retesting the 21 again. That would lend to our inverse head and shoulder theory for bullish sentiment. But I mean, honestly, we hit the 618. We retested the 50. The 382 held so far this morning, right? We didn't break through it at 42.84. We're still just one standard deviation away from the mean, right? It's not like we have anything extreme yet. We're still within risk tolerance, basically, right? This white line right here is the mean, right? This is a regression line, and that's where stocks like to hug to, as you can see. Like we don't get too far out of it. We're just at 1, right? 68% of all transactions occur between this brown line and this brown line. Okay. All right, let's look at it on the 4-hour to see if we can get a little bit more granular with it. right? So consolidation. We overtook the 50, so now we've got that sideways action. 200 SMA, 50. A little bigger here for y'all to see. This is a 200, this is a 50, this is a 21. So we're trying to start get some positive moves going on here, right? Looks like we're just kind of getting stuffed by some fib levels. But it's interesting that this 200 is the 21 EMA on the daily. So on the 4 hour, it's a 200. On the daily, it's a 21 EMA, right? So this crossover right here is super bullish, right? That was the beginning of the week, right? This is yesterday, and this is what we're like. If we come down and crack below, 43, 4310, 4300 psychological, 382 at 4285 has seemed to hold, right? That's a pretty decent level of support. Back this skyline is a magnet, 4250 or 4268. Below that, we come back down and test 4200. Okay, so there is a potential downside move today. This 4 hour 21, we smacked into it. We tried to get through it, right? Close below it. Consolidation, chop, chop, chop until we hit a level, right? Until we hit our level. From a 30-minute perspective, right? Intraday trading. That 382, that's that 42.85.75. I told you all to mark that on your charts a couple weeks ago. That's a pretty significant level, right? A little concerned that this 50-day is causing us some grief. So big sell-off, right? A little pop-up and then another sell-off overnight. Rejected the 21. Rejected it, like lots of rejection. When this 50 hits this 200, like we're waiting for this. If we get a 50 bounce and it can pull price up with it, we can get back inside this 21 and then fight the 200 overhead resistance as we move up. If it crosses down, then we're in deep trouble. Then we're looking at nice little tweezer bottom right there, the 382 retracement. Whew, falling off of that, rejected, through it, rejected, failure. If we start taking out this little trend line here, 42.85, below that, then we kind of have a little free fall action. Okay, so pretty key level right here. All right, 4,300 is right here. It's psychological. Not a lot of interaction at it though. I mean, it does provide a little bit, but not as much as this 42.85. Okay. All right, let's move on to the NQ, which is by far the worst shaped of our major indexes. Okay. We did get a 5,200 cross down. The 21, we rallied up to the 21 yesterday on the daily and rejected it, right? So shorts are coming in and pushing this down, right? They're like, sell the sell the pop, right? Sell the rip is what they're calling it. So you sell a bunch of shares, you put in a short order right here at the 21, the rejection, you're in the money here. Short covering may occur. Let me see. Let's look at the 4 hour. So we're not able to maintain the 50, right? We hit the 21, we rejected it, broke the 21, kind of holding the 50. There is a skyline at the 21 at 14.063. Another skyline is support at 13.832. Below that, this snow line is a magnet down at 13,500, just for round numbers. Okay. Yeah, if this 21 starts curling down, it's going to get real nasty real quick. Yeah, this is bearish. Super. Let's see that 50, 200 cross down, right? Not good, right? Quick pop, shorts covering, selling that. You know, there's a bunch of shorts right here at this level. 13.835. We're going to keep testing this 21. If we get through the 21, we may pop up and test the 50, but like I said, this is the 30-minute chart, okay? So chop, 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 and then we're either going to get pop or we're going to get failure at the open. So the open is right here, basically. Just enough time for a little bit more choppy. Okay. All right, let's look at the Dilly Dally Daily Dow, which is having more of an issue than we thought it was going to have. Right. It tried to test a 21. We're going to get, today would be the day, today or Monday be the day if we get the 50-200 cross down for a larger move to the downside. 1, 2, 3 thrust down. I think I could probably be a little safer playing this one here. All right. One, 2, 7. Down, up, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 7. All right. Didn't quite hit the 21. Waiting for this 50-200 cross down, cross over, cross up, whatever happens with it. Looking at the 4-hour to get a little glimpses to what possibly could happen. Right? We rallied up. We got above the 50-200. We had a little bit of a crossover going into yesterday. Thought things were going good. Came back down. This 50 is providing support. Below that, we've got to move down to 33,054. A little bit of support here. So I think the Dow's got a little bit more support than the NQ, right? Lots of mess happening. So this is consolidation. This is squeeze, right? This is indecision, right? Demand zone, supply zone, demand zone, supply zone. Yeah, watch for some trendline breaks. I mean, we've got room to come down. All right, let's move on to finally the Redheaded Russell, which did pretty decent yesterday. We do have, this is setting up for definitely an inverted head and shoulders, right? Up, down, up, down, up. It's riding its 21, right? This tree line, this tree line is definitely providing some support. This may melt on down now. Okay, so we had a 21-200 crossover, right? 21-50 crossover, bullish, big rip, right to that skyline, falling down. If this 50 can hold and the 50 crosses to 200, then small caps are going to make a higher high. Contrarian, if we get below the 50 and back down here, small caps are going to make a lower low. This is a pretty gnarly inverted head and shoulders. Made a higher high. Barely made a higher low by like 6 cents. Like, just barely. But you know, this is a falling 200, rising 50, squeezed 21.50. Okay, it gets even better on the 30-minute. Now this is more bearish. So we had a 50. We did get the 50-200 cross down, rejecting the 200, rejecting the 21. All right, so bearish we got bearish pressure to the downside. if we go and make a lower low, right, it would be all the way back down here to this previous support level. 1950 incoming for the Russell. Unless it can rally back up above 2035, 2040. Okay. Looking at gold. Looking at gold. Again, made a higher high, higher low. We're still stack positive, right? Riding that 21 on the 4 hour, bringing it down to the 30-minute. All right, we ripped up, back tested it, held the 50, held the 21. By holding, I mean that the candle closes at least 50% above or below it. We held it here, we lost it here, we lost it here, we lost it here, we lost it here, we held it here, right? But look at this bounce off the 50. So this is stack positive moving averages, right? This is still bullish. You know, buy the dips on gold, right? As long as this 50 holds, right? Last time we were down below the 50 was, oh, sorry, 30-minute time frame. Yeah, so intraday, right? Gold is bullish. All right, checking out crude. Up and down and up and down and up again. This is a 30-minute coming up to a fire line, right? That's resistance. And it looks like it's playing ping pong, doesn't it? Snow line to snow line, fire line to snow line, fire line to snow line, fire line to snow line, right? Or fire line to snow line. Okay. The 4 hour crude looks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, corrective pattern, 1, A, B, C corrective. I don't remember if the C can't break. I'd have to let me look, but I think the C level can't go below. That would be a really quick one. Is this 4 hour? Oh crap, hold on, my bad. Oh yeah, I did it off the 4 hour. If that's right, yeah, that sounds about right. Corrective A, B, C, and then we get a break above 112.87, right? For a 1, 1, 2, 3 Wu-Tang reversal. All right, and to begin the next ABC or Elliott wave to the upside. So it's very important that crude gets above 111 and bringing it down to the 30-minute. All right, we're really, I think we might do it right now, right? So next stop would be retest 112.83. All right, so reject here, things can get very interesting. All right, a little bit cleaner move here. Little cleaner moves. Okay. And then the yen, or bonds, 30-minute bonds. Let's just look at the 4 hour, right? 618 snow line, like this is pretty significant resistance, but big pop, held 382 resistance or support up through the 6.8 using the 50%. We get to move back up in bonds to 159, right? Pretty sketchy. It's a big move up for bonds. It's going to be a big move down for the ES. And finally the yen. This is a 4 hour yen, right? We rallied up, rejected it, right? This is what negatively stacked moving averages and rejection of key moving averages looks like, right? When I'm talking about, oh, we're going to reject the 200, oh, we're going to reject the 50, oh, we can't main the 21. This is the outcome of that. Just moves a little quicker since it's Forex, right? This is money movement. Money moves quicker. right? Just negative pressure, which should be good for us, right? The yen is being pushed down to 86. Remember back at the beginning of the month, it was at 96. Now it's at 86, right? Okay. All right, that's it for the futures. That's it for our pre-market stuff. Let me grab the 2-minute chart so y'all can watch for any pops. Pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and drop it. What I meant to do. Two's pretty quick. Let's look at the fives. Sorry. 5 minutes a little bit slower. I think that's good for this channel. All right. Checking out our bread and butters. Apple, AMD, Google, Nvidia, Tesla, SPY, QQQ, and Amazon. All right. Pretty much low to flat overnight. QQQ took a big old drop, found some support, gapped it, right? So massive sell-off to gap up. Massive sell-off to gap up, filled the gap. Tesla or Amazon, come on. Can I get a win-win? I had the 2900 put, I had the 2900 put. So Amazon's in the 15-minute cuts now, going up to the mid. Trying to overtake the 4-hour. Sorry. Oh, I'm tired. All right, so Amazon's not cooperating so far. Oh, neck. All right. What else? So events for today. Non-farm payroll at 8:30. All that's coming up in about 15 minutes. Okay, so we'll see how the market reacts to that, and then let's check out. Seriously, how did I get logged out? I don't ever log out of that thing. All right, it's FlowTrade time. Smart money, dark pool, block trade algorithm software. We look for divergences, right? Divergence occurs when smart money gets in and out of positions. They scale in and out of them. So on XOM, smart money's been net selling since the 7th, right? Price is up, trading with price action, a little bit of divergence. Honeywell yesterday, right? A little gap up, pulling back, just like the flow index is doing. Freeport McMoran, right? Flow index trading with price action. So get me your requests. We'll get them done. Get them quick. AMD, Meta. That's Facebook. Futu. Tessera. Futu and the Tesseract. All right, AMD. See how it's just been getting pulled down. So the flow index is still bearishly diverged, meaning that they're still kind of net selling. AMD, which I'm disappointed at, plugged through all of these different block trades. We're about to trade down to 107, right? We're in that downward cycle. $107.50 target on AMD. Contrarian, if it can get 113.32 is your upside target. Above 113.83, you get quick pop to 115, and then maybe a move back down. But this is it's pretty sketchy, right? We have magnets at 120 and 118 to 120. That's your magnet. That's basically your comfort zone for AMD. The last time we got down here, right, we did quick pop, big rip, walk it down, big pop, right, ripped up through it, walk it down, walk it down. The flow index is definitely bearish. Definitely their net sell. They are selling out of AMD. Okay, this is the last 7 days of block trades. Let's look at the last 3. Last 2. 1 day block trade, 2 day, right? So a lot of these orders have been absorbed. All right, so there's a dark pool sitting at 120 that hasn't been filled yet. There's an order just sitting there, right? Maybe some profit taking. This is the one that came in at the close yesterday. So if that's a bunch of buy orders, it can definitely increase, you know, if they decide to reverse at this level here, right, and move back up, knowing that they can sell out at 120. So, you know, $7 per share. Pretty decent risk reward. Okay. What's up next? You want to see AMD downside target. I mean, 382 retracement to 50%. We would look at a 618 if it's an actual true reversal. This is the 4-hour Keltner channel bottom. It's trying to get back up and through. So it could go 110, 112.50, right? It could also come back down 108, 107. I feel like I'm growing against the grain here. Stochastic is making higher lows and higher highs. MACD's histogram's neutral and increasing, right? If we have to work our way down to the daily bottom, we're looking at 107.85 to the downside. Break above above 111.25 for a move to 112.50. Okay. I mean, it looks pretty decent. I love trading AMD, by the way. I've got some 115 calls. Yeah, I was a little glutton. All right. Inverse head and shoulders, possibly. Gave up the 200. Gonna get some cross down. Not quite ready to slingshot around yet, so any pops to the 21 should be interesting. All right, next up on the list was Facebook. This is compression, consolidation. The flow index is just sitting here absorbing those orders. So dark pool broke. If, oh my God. So the next zone down would be 198, 194. From a cycle perspective, we're ready for a pop-up. Upside target 205 to a 750. FU2, flow index trading with price action, right? Just 1-to-1. No block trades in the last week. It's just slowly melting its way down, right? Slowly melting its way down. So it's riding this downward trend line. If it breaks down below that, grab a fib from here to there and look at the extension down. Okay. That's Futu. Costco. Didn't Costco have earnings? It did. Did I not read the Costco earnings? Costco Q2 EPS at 292 versus 274. Revenue 50.94 billion versus 50.4. Total company comps 14.4%. E-commerce comps 12.5%. Adjusted comps 11.1%. Costco, gonna love it. Bloody. Right, rallied up. It held the 50 weekly mid 34, 21, 13 EMA. So it's still stack positive. Right, we could get a bounce off of here. Right, just an about face type deal. However, I would be leery until there's a move 525, 530, 535 today, possibly 525, 530. That's a $10 move in Costco. Could happen. If it gives up 521, so if it makes a new low, we're going for our mid for our bottom. So you for 513, yeah, 512, 513 support. Below 510, it gets chunky. 505, 500, right? It gets real chunky on its way down. The flow index is showing us that we still have that bearish divergence. It's pretty significant, right? 526 is the divergence level. So this is where we diverged. So at this level here is what we could look for the downside move to do. So 520, 527. So it looks like that divergence has played out, right? So we came down here, the divergence just played out. At that point, flow index was starting to buy back into it, right? So broke that trend line, right? Because we're down in this area here. So possible channel back up on Costco, like I said. So if we can maintain, if this is the bottom, right, and we can get back up from 522 to 530, if we can trade back up into there, right, previous consolidation area, then I think we can reach up and touch 535. Contrarian, we continue to melt down. We've got a lot of support though. This is pretty bullish stock. Costco's pretty bullish. The flow index is making higher lows and higher highs, and it's trading with price action right now. Okay. All right, I got to run. I know it was quick. I know it was early. Can we go over some options for SPY? Yeah, let's look at SPY real quick. I think I have an options tool up here. All right. So we got a dark pull that came in on the second at the close that hasn't been filled yet at 429.96. Right, flow index is selling off. I would look at the 430 puts. This could be a double bottom here. Right, so 430 puts. Got a dark pull at 437. 439, 437, 439, and then 430 puts. Some 0-day spies. 435, 430. All right. I wouldn't go any further out than like the 439s, to be honest with you. And then 430s. All right, so I don't think we filled this block yet because this was 429.96, and I don't think we hit it. I know we got pretty low. I think we hit 431, right? We're currently trading. We're trading about right here, right now, right? So if we melt down and if this is a bunch of buy orders, right? Then we're gonna get a pop back up to 437. We got the 4-hour mid at 434. So um, so 440 is your white line level, right? That's your ultimate magnet. We're trading down in here right now. We came down as low as 431. So we came as low as here. We didn't fill this gap. See, there's a gap right there. So we gapped up. We make gap fill today. And if we do, $427, $425 puts. There's a delta on these. No. Yeah, the 429 puts look pretty decent on any sort of rips to 435, right? So we rip up to 435, which is the 15 top 4-hour mid. Possible rejection at that level. Those should go to about 25, 30 cents. Those 430s have got a ton of open interest. They're not going to close there, right? They don't want to pay out those 57,000 contracts, right? And they'd probably like to all right, look at this. Look at the numbers. Open interest 11,874, 11,877. So there's a 436, 437, right? If they pinned at 436.50, yeah, that's interesting that there's only a 3 contract difference between the 436, 437. So I would look at the 436s and 437s today. You can just play those back and forth. So as it gets up to 436, yeah, somewhere in here. I want to screenshot this for marketing purposes, for research. And do this. You guys want to check in on non-farm payroll real quick? And then I got to run. Sorry, I need to save that for marketing purposes, Forex Factory. Yeah, we ripped off that news. Right, so as an economy, we're doing pretty decent because non-farm payroll came in. The forecast was 423,000. It actually came in at 678, so that's huge. That's a big win. A big win right there. Look at that. Unemployment rate remained down. So we're going to get a rip here today. Dang it. There goes my Amazon puts. But good for my Roku calls and my AMD call. So 437, 436, 437 for that SPY. And then you want to look at Costco with the Wu-Tang. What time frame? Oh, in the daily. I don't think I have a good daily chart, do I? Okay, immediate 200 rejection. We broke the 200 on NQ, so we're going to get possibly good interim day on the Russell, the NQ, and the ES. So we might have a pretty decent day today. Dang it, Amazon. I was hoping Amazon. Well, Amazon might fade off. It has a tendency to do that. I still have hope. Let me find a daily chart that I can look at. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Wu-Tang on the daily. Squeeze fired off. Mid thrust buy above the 50, above the Ichi. Stack positive moving averages. Like I said, support 533, 530. And then as far as the level for Costco, let's say 545 to 550 on Costco. 545, 550. It may need some breath though, right? It may need a pullback. It may need a little support here at 527. Right, so a little bit of a pullback to support, or it can just gap and go like this. Squeeze released here, mid low. Well, it hasn't released yet. But see this big old giant candle right here? Whoop-dee, last earnings, right? Big old whoop-dee. Maybe we get another one of those. Something like this. 547. Sorry. I would 545 first target, 553 second target. All right, gotta go. Thanks for joining me. I'm Darko Algo. I'll see you all on Monday. I may or may not do a weekend watch list today, like this weekend. Like I said, I've got to move, so I don't know if I'm gonna have everything needed and be able to do that for you all. If not, maybe we'll try to get it figured out. So thanks for joining me. I am hopeful on Tesla to 842. If AMD can clear 112.80, it's going to breathe a little bit to 116, 117. I would like for Tesla to fall down, and I would like for Roku to just have its best day ever. So thanks for joining me. I'll talk to y'all on Monday. The background will be different. Have a great day.